Ben Shephard, Hour by Hour, Annie Perk's Heartbreaking Vigil. Late last night, credible sources close to the Shephard family revealed that Ben Shephard's condition, which had previously been described as stable but serious, had suddenly and alarmingly deteriorated. According to insiders, medical monitors began to display unstable vital signs, prompting immediate intervention from his team of private physicians. The medical team overseeing his care reportedly issued an emergency alert within the private wing of the undisclosed clinic where he is currently being treated. The atmosphere shifted in an instant, from quiet concern to a tense and deeply emotional crisis. Staff were instructed to maintain a strict no-visitor policy, with only Annie Perks and a select few family members allowed to remain by his side. Annie's strength tested like never before. Throughout this ordeal, Annie has displayed an extraordinary strength that those who know her say is the very essence of who she is. Calm and composed for days as Ben battled his unknown illness, she has carried herself with a grace that belies the turmoil within. But last night, witnesses say that strength gave way to visible emotion. In what has been described as a heart-wrenching scene, Annie was seen breaking down in tears, clutching Ben's hand, and begging the medical team to do everything in their power to keep him alive. Reports suggest that at one point, Annie was heard pleading, "You can't let him go, he's still fighting." The desperation in her voice, combined with the emotional toll of long days and sleepless nights, has shaken even the most seasoned staff members. Never leaving his side. Those closest to the family say Annie has refused to leave Ben's side. She has been sleeping in a chair beside his hospital bed, speaking softly to him whenever he regains consciousness, and keeping a close watch on every procedure and medication. Her professional life may be filled with careful planning and quiet determination, but nothing could have prepared her for this battle, the fight to save her husband. For the sake of privacy, the Shephard family has kept many details of Ben's illness confidential. However, sources familiar with the situation confirm that his condition is serious and complex, involving a combination of internal complications and rapid-onset symptoms that baffled doctors at first. Originally believed to be a minor health concern, his symptoms reportedly escalated just a few days ago, prompting his immediate admission to a private medical facility. The medical battle. Since then, specialists have been monitoring his oxygen levels, heart rhythm, and neurological responses around the clock. The sudden downturn overnight has left both doctors and family members fearing the worst, even as they push forward with aggressive treatment. The word critical was used by one insider, and in the world of elite medicine, that term is never used lightly. A love story under siege. Throughout their marriage, Ben Shephard and Annie Perks have been a symbol of partnership, stability, and quiet devotion. She, a woman who values privacy and family above all else. He, a television personality known for his charm, professionalism, and warmth. Now their love is being tested like never before. Friends close to Annie reveal that she is exhausted, emotionally raw, but unwavering in her commitment to be by Ben's side. Despite medical staff urging her to rest or step away briefly, she reportedly refuses to leave the hospital grounds. It's as if she believes her presence is the one thing keeping his spirit anchored to this world. Moments of prayer and reflection. Multiple witnesses have seen her walking the hallway in quiet prayer, clutching family photos, whispering words of encouragement through tears. Her heartbreak is palpable, but so is her determination. With Ben's condition listed as critical and unstable, there is no clear path forward. Doctors are exploring every possible treatment option. Some reports suggest that international specialists have been consulted, discreetly flown in to assist with advanced care procedures. Others hint that a last resort treatment could be attempted if his vitals don't stabilize within the next 24 to 48 hours. family and friends in the shadows. The Shephard family is said to be gathered discreetly behind the scenes, including Ben's parents and a few lifelong friends. Security has been increased around the clinic, and the media presence outside has grown by the hour. As of this moment, no official statement has been made by the family or publicists, though insiders expect a press release if Ben's condition either improves dramatically or worsens further. The silence, while expected, is only fueling the anxious wait for answers. Why this story matters. This is not just the story of a celebrity health scare. It is the story of a man beloved by millions, a woman who refuses to let go, and a family holding on to hope. Ben Shephard's career has spanned game shows, news programs, and countless charity efforts. His charm is not an act, it is a reflection of who he is. And right now, the man who has brought joy to so many faces, his most difficult challenge. In this moment, the world is watching, not out of gossip or curiosity, but out of love, fear, and respect. We are all hoping, all waiting, all wishing for the moment when Annie Perks can step out with a smile instead of tears. The corridor outside Ben Shephard's private room was quiet, but not still. Hospitals have a rhythm of their own, a strange blend of silence and constant motion. Overhead, the fluorescent lights hummed faintly, bathing the walls in a pale, unyielding glow that never changed with the hours. There was no sunrise or sunset here, only the slow drip of time measured by the beeping of monitors. Every so often, a nurse would glide past, their rubber soles whispering against the polished floor. The faint scent of disinfectant lingered in the air, sharp, clean, and cold, mixing with the faintest trace of coffee from a staff break room down the hall. In the distance, a lift bell chimed softly, its doors sliding open with a muted sigh before closing again. Somewhere far off, a printer whirred to life, spinning out pages of patient charts. Annie's chair. Inside Ben's room, Annie sat in the same chair she had claimed 3 nights ago, a padded visitor's seat with one stubborn wheel that squeaked whenever she shifted her weight. The room was dim, lit only by the warm glow of a lamp in the corner and the cool green and blue lights of the medical equipment. The air felt thick, heavy with the sound of Ben's breathing, steady for a moment, then interrupted by the occasional catch or sigh. The oxygen line hissed gently, a mechanical reassurance that technology was doing its part to keep him here. The monitors. Beside the bed, a heart monitor traced an endless dance of peaks and valleys across its screen. Each tone, each change in rhythm drew Annie's gaze like a magnet. She had learned over these long hours to read its signals, to tell the difference between a harmless fluctuation and something that made the nurses step in just a little faster. Every beep was a reminder, he's still here. The clock that wouldn't move. On the wall, a small clock ticked softly. Annie swore the hands barely moved. She measured time not in minutes, but in the doctor's visits, in the times the nurses quietly adjusted his IV, in the moments Ben's eyelids fluttered before settling again. It was almost 2 a.m, though in this world the hour meant nothing. Nights in a hospital don't end the way they do at home. There's no drifting into deep sleep, no waking to sunlight through curtains. Here, the night is just another stretch of waiting, of hoping. A whisper only he could hear. Annie leaned forward, resting her elbow on the mattress, her face close to Ben's. "Do you remember the Cornwall trip?" she whispered. "The rain came down sideways, and you still tried to barbecue." She laughed softly, a sound that was half choked by tears, then brushed a strand of hair from his forehead. "The boys still talk about that. You said a little rain never hurt anyone." His hand twitched faintly beneath hers. She squeezed it gently, searching his face for any sign that he'd heard. The shadows beyond the door. Outside the room, shadows moved, the silhouettes of doctors conferring quietly, clipboards held close to their chests. Occasionally, one would step inside, murmuring polite greetings before checking the readouts and making notes Annie couldn't see. When they left, they always offered the same words: "We're doing everything we can." But Annie had been there long enough to know that the way they said it mattered more than the words themselves. The window to the city. There was one small window in Ben's room, high enough that you had to stand to look out. Annie sometimes went to it, peering down at the city below. At night, the streets were quiet, just the occasional taxi gliding through pools of streetlight, the faint flicker of a television in an apartment across the way. It felt strange to see life going on out there, couples walking home, buses rumbling past, while her entire world had shrunk to this single room. The weight of the hours. Hospitals teach you how heavy an hour can be. They stretch and pull, bending under the weight of uncertainty. At times, Annie would close her eyes and try to remember the last time she had slept more than a few minutes at once. She could still feel the pressure of the chair's armrest against her ribs, still hear the rhythm of Ben's breathing whenever she let herself drift. And yet she refused to go home. Not now. Not when the next moment could be the one where he opened his eyes and said her name.